Exotic, beautiful Japan and our visit to the snow monkeys. This looks like fun, and it is, so stay watching for a few more seconds. We've been to a lot of places, but Japan is exotic, stunningly beautiful, and the food and the people are wonderful. Add to that, it is 99% totally safe. This was our third visit, and we spent a month in Japan this time. This chapter covers a visit by us to the famous Japanese snow monkey pool, which is located in the forest outside the pretty town of Nagano, situated in the Japanese Alps. We are very experienced world travellers. Our plan here is to give you the details, and this info will make your travel simple and enjoyable when you go. I've already spoken too much, so let's immediately cut to the chase and go to the next chapter in this timeline, which contains the best footage of the snow monkeys in and around the thermal hot pool. This includes feeding time. If just seeing the monkeys is your primary interest, then let's go there now, and I will explain the other chapters as we go, because if you're really keen to visit Japan, there are special travel tips and money savers for you in the following chapters. Chapter 2, Monkeys in the Pool. Here we are walking into the lower area. We've walked up the access path, which is about 1.5 kilometres. Note the steam geyser straight ahead, the onsen to the left, and the steep concrete steps to the entry gate on the right. There are monkeys down here, but the hot pool is still up the valley a bit. Note the stow chains on the motorbike. Very clever addition. They should put a fleet of these together and hire them out. But again, maybe not. There would have been 30 or so people in the area around the pool. And there were originally only 6 or 10 monkeys in the pool, but that constantly changes. Several monkeys wandering around the pool, and at best guess another 20 or 30 loitering in different spots. The pool at the top end is quite hot, and most monkeys did not go up there. But it drops about 10 degrees to the far end, and that's where most of them are. The pool is not very deep, as the monkeys only want to wander and soak and not do laps. Not all of the monkeys go into the water. Like cats, some like water and some don't. They all come and go and don't pay you any attention at all. A mixture of age, with some quite young babies in the group who caused a bit of a stir by annoying some of the adult males. Most monkeys are not tolerant of being annoyed or tormented, and the macaques are no different, even to their own young. But the young can be testy as well, as you'll see further in the video. You have to accept that this isn't Disneyland, so you have no control over what you're going to see or what is going to happen. We may have been lucky, but in the main, everyone got a chance to do their photography because people move around the various vantage points around the pool for the different angles, so even with the number of people there, it worked well. It helps that the Japanese visitors are very considerate of others. While we were there, the monkeys were fed by the attendant, that's the guy with the blue bucket, and we suddenly had a lot more monkeys appearing out of nowhere, mixing in and around us. My guess is about 120 monkeys in total. Like most wild animals, there is a fair bit of argy-bargy and shrieking over the food as the supply dwindles. There is fighting and biting and screaming and chasing each other, which is fun to watch. None of this goes on in the pool because at feeding time, they all get out of the pool. Keep your eyes on the stone terraces up the slope above the pool, as there are some great arguments over the food that is there. So if you visit, keep your cameras ready for action in that area. The pool would normally be devoid of monkeys at this time. Once the food supplies taper off, a group of them will return to the pool and the usual antics of waiting around and grooming each other resumes and rotates. By the time 1 p.m. came around, we had seen what we needed to see and filmed what was available, and we headed back to the bus stop. We arrived at the return stop just after 2 p.m, and the bus came shortly after, and we were back at the bus stop right behind Nagano train station at about 3:20 p.m. In the next chapter, let's talk about saving you some money when doing this. Travel is expensive, and only by perfect planning will you avoid poor outcomes that burn your money. To make it easy for you to navigate, I've divided this video into 9 individual chapters. You can do them in any order in the timeline below. Try fast forward or fast backwards. If you like this video, then please take a moment to subscribe to our travel channel. And thanks for taking the time to visit the channel. Here's the subscribe button. Just click on it and it all happens automatically. The next chapter, chapter 3, covers getting into the park itself from the bus stop at the street. This is critical to understand if you are not on a tour. If you are not interested in that, then skip to chapter 5, where we have all of our surplus video of the monkey pool visit. Chapter 3, Independent Tourists, Safely Getting into the Snow Monkey Park. Be aware it is a non-paved, think snow and mud, 1.5 kilometre walk-in from the park entry point to arrive at the monkeys. And that initial entry point is about 400 metres uphill from the bus stop. On our visit, it was a fine, clear day. It was cold at about -3 degrees, but can be -8 to -10 degrees. When we were there, it had only been lightly snowing, so there was not deep snow. The path was still a bit of a quagmire in parts. In other parts, it was frozen and icy and quite dangerous unless you had the right footwear on. The slope off the edge is quite a fall. We were wearing crampons, which are slide-on ice cleat overlays to our serious cold weather waterproof shoes, and had no issues anywhere. Crampons were available for purchase at the entry to the path, but I'd bring them with you as the steep uphill asphalt road in from the bus stop was covered in slippery ice for about 200 metres, and that was even before you got to the gate to the entry path. Falling over in snow and mud onto hard frozen ground is the easiest way to totally hijack your holiday and burn serious money. We are both reasonably fit and were dressed for the weather, but with slow people on the path and the mucky conditions, it took us an hour to walk into the pool where the monkeys were. I've read reports on people visiting here in the summer months with very few monkeys in attendance and the whole place like a mud bath. But I've seen some great summer video footage as well. Remember that the monkeys are wild and normally forage in the surrounding areas for food. I therefore have to assume that the natural food supply would be more abundant in the warmer months than in winter. In addition, they are fed several times a day a variety of grain by the park attendants, so when it's winter, they have two reasons to hang around the hot spring. That is the warm water and a free feed. If I was a monkey, I'd stay for a deal like that. This is a unique experience. I've walked with wild lions in Africa, and these are wild macaque monkeys. They are definitely not tame. Do not try to touch them, and definitely do not attempt to feed them or tease them. The ongoing survival of this attraction is dependent on the monkeys not being too integrated with humans. Here we are, arriving at the bus stop. You'll immediately notice how flash and elegant this is, but it's Japan, it's beautifully clean. Felt slab and the side office to one side that acts as a ticket office, and on the other side is a Roman museum, which is a bit of a laugh as it contains almost no Roman items at all. Walk away from the bus, tending uphill, turning to the right, and the asphalt road continues up the hill. The day we were there, the first 100 metres or so was okay, but then turned to a sheet of ice that even extended out off the asphalt, so there was no way to avoid walking on it. People were having a lot of trouble walking on this, and you will need ice spikes on your shoes if you're contemplating doing this. You can see the ice on the road in front of the shops, and it got worse as you went. Because it was only -3 in the morning and had warmed up a bit by early afternoon, the ice had melted and solved the problems by about noon. But that was no help to people trying to walk up this road early in the morning. Also remember, it can be -10 here, and the ice will not melt if that is the case. Note the lady in the hut who nods and bows to me as I walked by. I just gave her a little smile and a nod of my head, and the Japanese, always super polite, respond. But don't overdo it. Note the banner across the park entry, and look at the very professional concrete path and steps that run up the hill and create an illusion of a nice path all the way to the pool. That mirage lasts about 30 metres, and reality bites, as you will see. The path never turned to solid ice, nor did it ever get a chance to dry out. It was just wet and sloppy, but not a problem if you are dressed for it. So leave your Gucci loafers at home. Note the soft, muddy outer path edges and the fall off the edge of the path. In places this is deadly serious, and anywhere it would be a serious event to fall off the edge. It was not until I put this video together did I realise how cavalier a lot of people were to walking in the soft mud along the edge. I would never do that. All the same, I found this refreshing. I live in Australia in what I refer to as a cotton wool society. Governments at home are so over the top on safety, I am surprised they allow us to breathe the air. The other thing that surprised me was the young child on the path all alone. This was a section that was dangerous, and here is a child of 4 or 5 years of age running around unsupervised. I don't support cotton wool upbringing of children, but this was a step too far even for me. I deliberately left out of the video the walk through the lower section and the steps up and the ticket office, as they were covered in an earlier chapter. And you'll see that with the people on the bridge. If you are physically up to this, it is quite enjoyable, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this. We certainly did enjoy going there and walking this path. Chapter 4. Some money warnings. I will cover here some very important instructions and advice for foreigners visiting this place. There are different things you need to consider and plan for depending on the time of year that you visit, your level of fitness and the prevailing conditions. So please check the weather forecast and dress for the conditions. But coming here in winter is the buzz, and that is what I'll deal with. I am told that the majority of visitors are like us doing a day trip out of Nagano, but there are also people doing day trips on the Shinkansens out of Tokyo. We are very experienced independent travellers and have been all around the world, and I personally would not do this Tokyo day trip, as in such an arrangement there are too many moving parts that can go wrong, or travel arrangements you can miss, or trains or buses that can be full, and you would have wasted all that large wad of Shinkansen money for nothing. If you want to come up from Tokyo, then catch the train up. Stay the night in Nagano. There are some good hotels and excellent restaurants, and then do the monkey park early the next day, and late in the afternoon catch the Shinkansen back to Tokyo. Later on in this video, I will give you some more information around that. We visited this location in full winter. It had only been lightly snowing in the days before we went there, and none on the day of our visit. It was a fine, beautiful day, but the air temperature was -3 degrees. We stayed 2 nights at the JR Hotel at Nagano Station, and it was pretty good with excellent attentive staff. We came back from the park, picked up our checked luggage from the hotel, and walked to the train station, which is right next door to the hotel, and caught the Shinkansen back to Tokyo and arrived at Tokyo Station around 5 p.m. Be aware that you don't have to take a guided tour to come to Jijokadani, but you need to be organised. The advantage of an organised tour is that you know you'll get there, but you pay a lot for that privilege. At the time of making this video, an organised tour from Nagano was costing around $230 AUD, that's Australian dollars, per person. Compare this against buying the park ticket for $42, plus the bus return for $35, making a total for the visit of $77 Australian. That is a saving of $153 Australian, which translates into around $105 US per person. So if 4 of you are going, you're going to spend another $420 going on a tour versus the way we did it. That's up to you. The organised tour operators throw in a visit to the Sake Brewery and the Zenkoji Temple, both of which are free entry and easily found on foot if that pulls your chain. And I suggest you do both of those places, as they are very, very interesting. We chose to pre-buy the tickets to the park from our hotel and catch the local bus to the park. I think it included the bus ticket with the park entry on some combined deal, So some more money was saved if you can still get that deal. You can take a train and then a bus, but I saw that as more risk with things going wrong than just using one bus. What can go wrong? Well, my usual answer is anything. Our bus was scheduled to leave at 8:30 a.m. and we were at the stop, number 23, just behind the main train station at 8 a.m. This was right next door to our hotel, and there were already more than 50 people in the line in front of us. I asked the attendant as to the seating capacity of the bus, and he said 50 people. Yep, there you have it. Fortunately for us, they had an extra bus on that day that arrived at around 8:40 a.m. and it took about 1 hour to get to the bus stop at a most unusual Roman museum near the park. I don't know why this surprised me, as I always expect to find a Roman museum at a monkey park in the back blocks of Japan. The irony is that the museum hardly has any Roman items at all in its collection. If there had not been the extra bus, we would have been first in line for the next bus that left at around 9:10 a.m. But you are now 1 hour extra into the day and a lot more people enter the park in that hour. Remember, the early bird gets the monkey, so plan to stay ahead of the crowds. So we were walking up to the entry to the park at around 9:45 a.m. and there was a good crowd of people ahead of us. We then walked up the access path and arrived at the pool at around 10:50 a.m. Chapter 6, a unique offer that costs nothing, so pay attention. We shoot a lot of video every day. We only use about 15 to 20% of what we shoot. We pull out the best footage, edit and massage it, and that goes into the main story. But what about the remaining 80%? We will put all of our monkey visit footage into Chapter 6. This will be the whole lot and will be raw footage and has not been in any way edited. It's hard to say that, isn't it? Edited. So if this really interests you, you could have another hour of unedited monkey business in Chapter 6 to entertain you. Feed.
Guarda che gli do da mangiare qua.
Feeding time.
Guarda che gli do da mangiare qua. Guarda che gli do da mangiare qua. Guarda che gli do da mangiare qua.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hands me long enough. Oh, look at this little one. Pardon.
Bein hochlegen. Hast du So eine Blase kann man doch bald haben.
ね、一番でかいサルどれ？
Halten. Kurz rein mit dem Finger kurz. Wieder.
Ada ikutin itu tuh yang tadi makan tuh.
The next chapter is a very short history on the park. This is a very short video, so why not stay and just see how this place came about. Chapter 7, the history, how this place came to be. The story goes that back in the late 1950s, these monkeys were becoming quite a pest. The local farmers had problems with them attacking their fruit trees and were shooting the monkeys. The local onsen had problems with the monkeys taking over the onsen's hot baths. From a health perspective, it's a dumb idea to share a hot bath with a wild animal who will use the pool for a toilet. But I see that as being offered. Go figure. As such, due to its steep mountains and the smell of sulphur emitting from the hot springs that bubble to the surface in the valley, Hara marvelled at the monkeys and from that point onward became entwined in their future and this story. Chapter 8, the overview, also called the wrap. The snow monkeys in winter are a blast, but go well prepared. 2, we liked Nagano. It is a great town to walk and explore and worth an extra day or two. 3, the Zenkoji temple is quite stunning. 4, there is a sake brewery just beside the temple that is worth a look and a taste. 5, just down the main street, left-hand side, away from the temple, going back towards town, is a cluster of restaurants that are great. 5, some good jazz music bars are to be found in town. Chapter 9, a bit about us and what is coming in brand new video content. We are based in Brisbane, Australia, which is today a very pretty river city with a population just under 2 million residents, and as such offers all the amenities of a big city. Brisbane has beautiful natural surrounds and is well worth a visit if you are coming to Australia. To entice you, we'll be posting Brisbane and Environs YouTube videos over the next year. We are thinking of producing some Australia East Coast road trip itineraries for tourists as well. We have been self-employed business people for most of our lives and have been to a lot of terrific places around the globe and unfortunately did not video much of it. Some like our Cuba, Russia, China, Africa and South American trips can never be repeated due to political unrest. Let us know in the comments if a compilation video is of interest from the still images we have from these travels, and we'll see what we can do. We have plans for a series of local travel videos named 488 Fantasies. But that's not what you may think. For the curious, do a Google search with just 488 in the search bar and you'll get the drift. We individually walk all the places we shoot. No useless high drone shots or unrelated, time-wasting, clickbait photos of pretty young girls that have no relevance or connection to the vision. We've driven thousands of kilometres, walked 1 million steps to get this information to you. A drone shot at 500 metres high is rarely of any use in judging the real appeal of a small old town in Europe. We have a high standard of living, but are judicious with our travel spending. We don't see the sense in expensive 5-star hotels where the room is only used 6 to 8 hours at night, but we do use 5-star adult-only cruise lines. We seek apartments with built-in laundry facilities and kitchens and look for on-site parking to protect our rental car from damage or theft. We are value seekers and not cheapy budget tourists. We will, over 2024-2025, develop a website at www.destinationdetails.com.au that will work in conjunction with our YouTube channel. We'll produce local and international videos, past itineraries, maps and course notes that eventually will be available for free, but only to our subscribers. So keep a lookout for this to be added. Also, only for our subscribers, we will offer a few times a year a live video meeting with us to go over and provide assistance with people's travel plans if we have knowledge and experience with their destination. So it will be like a personal question and answer session and will be filmed live. We look forward to your comments, good and bad and helpful, and are always looking to improve the quality of our presentations, so give us feedback. And remember the 3 magic words: subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Why subscribe, I hear you ask? A high subscriber count builds the value of our channel and allows us to travel and build a better YouTube library for you to watch. Good for you and good for us, and does not cost you a cent.